added me now. All right.
Can you try that song?
Yes, well, just give me a minute. You don't send me.
I can hear them. Everyone can see me, but I can't hear anybody.
Is it like now?
Hmm?
Is it like now?
Yeah, you are in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. My
Adenike Clement is a global investor and trusted wealth creation and retention coach with a career spanning over 2 decades. He is the Chief Executive Officer of LifePage Group, a real estate development company. LifePage Group has successfully created and managed over 23 projects across Africa with an investment portfolio deals worth over $20 million. He leads a group of investors and professionals comprising of over 15,000 subscribers and realtors. Adenike Clement will be at this year's Global World Creation Summit, speaking on World Creation Code.
Can you hear me now? I want to believe you can all hear me now. Oh, great. Great. So I want to apologize once again. Technology is something we're still trying to grapple with in this part of the world. So I want to sincerely apologize to those of us who are joining in from other parts of the world. So I'm so excited as I was sharing the story about my starting, how I started my journey in life. I understand the color of poverty. I know how it tastes. And not that my parents were not hardworking, not that they weren't responsible. They just didn't get it right somewhere. All right. So, but I've come to discover certain truths that has liberated me. So in spite of my beginning, I'm no longer where I used to be. The difference is very, very, very wide apart. And some of the things I've been privileged to practice, some of the truths I've been able to acquire over the last 20 years of my life, has been responsible for some of the results in my personal life. And I believe it can be replicated regardless of your current socioeconomic status. It can be replicated regardless of your geography. And so I'm so excited. Many of our speakers are practitioners. They are not theoreticians, they are practitioners. The things we do are exactly the things we are sharing here. I mean, it's very easy to just Google up something and not practice it. So everybody can be a motivational speaker, but it's not just motivational speaking. This is practice. And you can't forget what you practice. You can't forget what you do. All right. So this is very important. Some time ago, I stumbled on this very interesting quote, and it says, money does not come to those who need it. It comes to those who, multiply it. And I kept pondering over that same that quote and realized that even money, as as inanimate as it may appear, is even selective as to where it goes. I've come to discover and realize that money is called currency because it is current. It is designed to flow, never designed to be static. Money flows from the hands of fools to the hands of the wise. So, and nobody accidentally becomes successful. If you accidentally become successful, you are more likely, if you are not operating the laws of attracting and retaining them, you are likely to go back accidentally, go back to where you've been all along. And so money is selective, and that means there are things that you must be practicing. There are things you must live by. There are standards you must live by. All right. So there are three things I need to quickly tidy up because of my limited time. Number one is we make money. I mean, we are talking money here. Everybody needs money, regardless of your current state right now, current financial state. Everyone needs some kind of funds to pilot project, but we all have different needs and have different reasons for which we need those funds. But there are three things you must know when it comes to the issue of money. We make money by working and adding value. So, and the journey to wealth creation begins first by making money. So you cannot even start to begin to practice certain things that we are going to be sharing, except you started to make money. So you make money by working and by adding value and solving problems and meeting needs. The more of that you're doing, the more money you are able to attract into your bank account. And that's pretty much the way it is anywhere you are in the world. The world does not respond to you out of pity. They respond to you out of selfishness. So if you are not meeting their needs, money, there won't be exchange of resources. And that's very, very crucial. Number two is that we manage money through budgeting. We manage money by budgeting. I say to people all the time, it does not matter how much or how less you are, how low you are making. If you don't manage, you will lose everything you have labored for. So it's important what architectural drawing is to a building. That's exactly what budgeting is to your wealth. So you want to create wealth, you need a budget. Number three is that we multiply money by investing. I beg your pardon. We multiply money by investing. So if you want to create wealth, multiply wealth, then you certainly have to invest. All right. So that's the little preamble I need to give there. The next important thing I need to quickly drop here, because I've got so much in my heart to share. I usually take a longer time to dive deeper into this at my Financial Freedom Masterclass. Whenever I'm sharing, I take time and I do a lot of coaching. It's usually a lifelong session. I take most members of my tribe. So I must also mention here that there are three key things that you need to you need to take to heart when it comes to creating wealth. Listen to me carefully. What I want to tell you is foundational for regardless of where you are. Please take note of these three things. Now, the list could be endless, but these three things certainly would be part of those things, those lists. And I brought them out because I know these things have been instrumental to my lifting, has been instrumental to my own progress financially and otherwise. All right. Number one is you need a right mindset and a right attitude. Listen to me. Stinking thinking repels money. The quality of your thoughts matters a great deal. It matters a great deal. I won't lie to you. The quality of your financial destiny cannot be better than the quality of your financial decisions. And of course, the quality of your financial decisions cannot be better than the quality of your mind and your thoughts. So you have to pay attention to how you think. Listen to me, and this is the most difficult part, of our lives. This is the most difficult part of life. I know so, because if you're already 50 and listening to me right now, you already have a frame of thinking. You already have a frame of mind as it relates to certain aspects of your life. And so whatever result you are producing right now is often a reflection of the quality of your thought. You want to work on that. And this is so crucial. Now, that takes a lot. And I'm not telling you it's easy, but you've got to be very, very deliberate about that. So you need a right mindset. This is the code, my people. I must tell you the truth. So you need a right mindset and attitude. Listen to me. Attitude is superior to aptitude. Anytime, any day. It's not what life, you don't control what life throws at you, right? But you can determine how you respond. And that's where the attitude issue comes to play. And so to be able to create wealth, you need the right mindset, you need the right belief system. You need to begin to query why you think the way you do. I mean, there are people who always talk scarcity. They always, your thought pattern always reflects your language. I say to people all the time, say billion, be comfortable with big figures. If you are not comfortable with that, then you are not likely to attract it. All right. So you need to work on your mindset. And as you continue to do that, you begin to recognize, listen, there are opportunities all around us. But if you do not possess the right mindset and attitude, you are not likely to even recognize it, let alone be able to harness it. And so if you don't have the right mindset, it will also be very difficult for you to be able to maximize opportunities. And it will be difficult for you to see possibilities. There's so much possibility. Let me be honest with you. The season that we are in are uncertain times and unprecedented times everywhere else, everywhere in the world. But you need the right attitude to be able to make the most of the season. It's not come to make you bitter. It actually comes to make you better. It all depends on how you respond. And that's very important. Number two, you need to have, when it comes to this life of, this journey of wealth creation, is you need the right people. Oh my God. You need the right people. A mentor of mine said to me a couple of months back, and even though it's something that I'm very conscious of, it's something I'm very deliberate about, it didn't occur to me until he said it. And listen to this. He said, we don't get to the top. He said, but we are brought to the top. We don't get to the top. We are brought to the top. And so this is very, very important. You need the right people. In fact, what I've realized is that the greatest gift, one of the greatest gifts you can ever have in life, is to have the right circle of people right people within your circle of influence. It's so crucial. It will influence your decision. It will influence your mindset. It will influence your thinking. It will influence many of your actions. So a lot of people are surrounded by the wrong people, and that's why they have the kind of result they currently have. So right mindset and attitude, right people, very, very important. That's why it said your network is what determines your net worth. So it's not just quotable quotes. It's the reality. You want the right people, and you've got to be deliberate about choosing who is in your circle. You didn't choose who your father or mother is. You didn't choose your siblings, but you know what you can choose? You can choose your friends. You can choose your mentors. You can choose your coach. You can choose. You have that power. You didn't determine where you were born. If you had the opportunity to decide who your father or mother would be, you probably would choose Dangote, Aliko Dangote. You probably would choose Folorunsho Alakija as your mother. I mean, but that's already too late. If you were to choose where to be born, you most likely would have chosen United States of America or some other developed nations. But that's already too late. You know what you can choose? You can choose where you will be born. You can even choose who you give birth to. You can choose many other things. You have power to choose. You know the reason why we get really anxious and we get really trapped in our struggles, in our pains. The only reason for that is because we get to focus on the things we can't control. The secret of life success actually resides in your ability to focus on the things you can control and leave what you can't control. If you focus on the things you can control, it becomes a leverage for the things you can't really control. And that's pretty much the way it works. And number 3 in this list of things you need in your journey of wealth creation is you need the right plan. You need the right plan. I cannot overemphasize this. And that is where I want to draw the curtain. Now, your right plan is so important. Now, what I've noticed, especially in this part of the world, all right, is that a lot of people do not plan to fail. They just do not plan to succeed. And when you have not planned to succeed, you have automatically planned to fail. And those are part of the things you've got to be intentional about. I'm serious. This is serious. You need a plan. You need a plan. If you see any reasonable, I'm into the build industry, and I can tell you, if you see any meaningful building, there is a lot of attention that has gone into crafting a plan, in crafting a design, a lot of attention to details, a lot of painstaking observation, a lot of deliberations, and a lot of studies that have also gone into that. All right. So if you want to make the most out of your life, especially as it relates to your finance, then you've got to be deliberate about developing the right plan. So this is so crucial, so crucial. And there are 5 key steps that I want to just share with you to wrap up on wealth creation code, and especially as it relates to developing a plan for your finances. You want to be financially free? It's possible. It does not matter where you're living right now. It does not matter your current state right now. If you make those adjustments, the next thing you must do, right? Number 1, the 5 steps. And I use this for nearly all compartments of my life, but I've also applied it very consciously and deliberately in the area of my finances. And I've never been the same. Every year has always been better. It does not matter. It does not matter what is going on all around. It does not matter what's going on in the national economy. In fact, my partner and I were discussing very recently, and we're discussing about this myth called recession. And I've come to think about it. When they say there's recession, what exactly are they saying? Does it mean money flew away and manned up with wings and flew away? No. Money only changed hands. Money only changed location. Money is still within the system, right? It only changed location. And what determines what money, where the money flows to, depends on your thought pattern, depends on the kind of plan, depends on the number of factors. And that's why we have this lineup of international speakers going to be addressing us in this conference. So, number 1, question. So I package these steps into questions, 5 key questions. I've used it. You can develop, you can adopt it for different aspects of your life. Whether you run a business, ask these 5 questions to help you a great deal. I tell you the truth. Number 1 question, this is about wealth. I mean, it's about you want to journey to wealth. Number 1 is, where am I? Where am I? This is a question of location. And it's so important in navigating to wherever you want to go. It's so important to define exactly in clear terms where you are financially, since money is the focus of our discourse this evening. All right. So I want to encourage you, take time to assess how much do you owe? What do you owe? And what do you own? In terms of what do you own, I'm talking about what are the assets in your life. A friend of mine who is now a billionaire, I remember those days, he said he wanted to know what he owned and what he was owing. And then he realized that all he owned at the time was just pots, a refrigerator and TV. And that was all that he owned at the time. But today the story is different. But you see, if you don't clearly and deliberately ascertain where you currently are, it will be difficult to navigate to where you'd love to be. So it is often said that if wishes were horses, beggars will ride. The only reason why a lot of people are not able to make that journey is that they are not also being sincere with themselves. The greatest form of deception is self-deception. You really, really want to take time, to do what is needful. You need to take time to pay attention to what really matters about your life right now. So how old are you? Right? You want to ask those critical questions. How old are you? Are you married? Are you single? Do you have kids? Right? If you have kids, what level of life are they? Are they infants? Are they toddlers? Are they, adolescents? Are they teenagers? Are they youths? You want to know the stage, and you want to be able to use that to assess your life. Why? Because whatever you are paying right now, if your children are toddlers, or if you are not yet married, it's certainly not going to be your expenses at the time when you eventually get married. So you want to be able to ascertain, and this is something you have to be very deliberate about. I mean, what I'm telling you now is what I do from time to time for evaluation, for planning and strategy. It's what I do regularly. I regularly do this, and you want to do that. All right. So you want to know exactly where you are financially. How much are you generating even from your salary? I mean, if you are working right now, you earn a salary, how much is flowing in? If you continue at this speed, how long will it take for you to arrive at where you really love to be? What other options? And then we're going to get into that. Number 2 question you must ask yourself is, where am I headed? Where am I going? Where am I going? So with regards to having children, or with regards to getting married, if you are not yet married, with regards to, building up assets and reducing your liabilities, you want to ask yourself, where exactly do you want to be? I recently shared with our CFO in our company about my plan for the organization, and told him a lot of things that I can't get into that. And one of the things I told him was that, come by this time, this and this would have happened, and this is my agenda. This is how I intend to make that happen. Now, if I can have such agenda for the organization, imagine what I have for my personal life. And if you don't plan your life, nobody will plan it for you. If you don't plan your life, for those of you who are developing nations like Nigeria, who are in underdeveloped nations, you want to make sure you are planning your life, because nobody's really doing that for you. And so this is so crucial. So where are you going? So with regards to how much you own, your assets, you want to define where you are going in terms of your asset as well. In terms of your liabilities, that the things that take money away from you and depreciate in value, you want to also define that, right? I mean, having plenty of cash, there's nothing wrong, provided you are generating enough resources to maintain it. There's no problem with you, flying jet. There's no problem with you living any kind of life you really love to live, provided you have the revenue that is supporting that lifestyle. So what is critical is defining where you are going. Answer that question. Be honest with yourself. If you are 35 now, it means in 5 years' time, you'll be 40. And if you are unmarried now, it means that within the next 5 years, you most likely will be married and most likely have children. What is your plan for that time? Answer that question, right? Number 3 is, how do I really want to get there? How do I want to get there? Now, this is a question of destination. The first one I asked was question of location. The second one is question of destination. And the third one is the question of route. How do you want to get there? What path do you want to follow in order to arrive there? All right. And there are many paths people have used, right? People have used network marketing. People have used entrepreneurship. People have used, being a top level executive, to arrive at the wealthy place. And there are different routes that you can follow, right? This is so important. What path do you want to follow to arrive at the wealthy place? It's existent. It's in existence, but how do you want to arrive there? You need to answer that question. The next thing you want to do, number 4, the next question you want to answer, right? I do not have time to really work this, but that's what I do as a Financial Freedom Masterclass. Now, the next thing you want to do is, what resources do I need to arrive there? And now, let me be honest with you. This question is the question of vehicle, is the question of instrument. I found it to be true that regardless, the most successful people in life, the wealthiest people on earth, are not essentially the most intelligent. Now, this may shock you, but the most intelligent are often not as rich as the less intelligent. And that's what I found out. But what they have done so wisely is that they have chosen the right vehicle. And over the years, what I've found to be most reliable, there are several vehicles that you can deploy, you can adopt. What I found out is that the vehicle that has been proven to be most reliable in creating wealth, right, is real estate. Real estate. It does not, you see, I don't want to go into that much for now. A lot more will still be shared in the course of this two-day conference. All right, and you don't want to miss out on this. Number 5, the question number 5 you must answer for yourself is, when I get there, how do I retain and sustain what I have attained? How do I retain and sustain what I have attained? Now, a lot of times people plan their agenda and how they want to arrive there, but they don't plan how to remain there. And I must tell you, whatever it is that you did to create wealth, all right, you also need to continue to do, because there's always what to start doing, there's always what to stop doing, and there's always what to continue to do if you want to create and retain wealth. One of those things you must continue to do is whatever brought you there, but there are other things that you still need to do, because it is a lot demanding to maintain your championship. It's a lot demanding to maintain your wealth than it was for you to create it. And you never want to be back to where you were before. So there are other principles, and those are some of the things that I usually take in my Financial Freedom Masterclass. I have a goal. One of my life goals is to raise 1,000 multimillionaires in dollars. By every standard, I'm a multimillionaire in any currency of the world. So I'm not saying this to boast, but just to let you know that this is my dossier and this is my credential. I'm not a theoretician. I know my onions. I understand how certain things happen, how it works. All right. And I have a couple of revenue models and revenue stream that I also share with people who attend, that class. You want to know more about it, we'll get to that much later. I want to believe you've learned a few things till I come your way again during this conference. Please always remember, to stay inspired till you succeed. Bye for now.
Amazing session, sir. Thank you for that. It was awesome. It was great. It was amazing. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Yeah. So people are dropping questions. So when we return for the question and answer session, we'll take them together.
All right.
So we'll send them across as well.
Excellent.
So thank you so much, sir. I hope we're all set. We have our next speaker. Let me not make too much noise. Let me just bring her up for you. So this is a brief introduction of her. She'll be coming up next.
Visionary and driven are the words that come to mind when Adenike Ogunlesi is mentioned. She founded Rough and Tumble, the foremost indigenous lifestyle clothing brand in Nigeria, operating to international standard in the design, production, and retail of children's clothing for newborn children to age 16, an authority in the garment manufacturing industry in Nigeria with over 35 years experience. Driven by a passion to show the world the possibilities that are found in Nigeria, starting with the production of quality clothing, Adenike has built a successful premium children's clothing brand with over 16 international standard retail outlets across Nigeria and an e-commerce platform, making Rough and Tumble an instantly recognizable brand in the Nigerian and West African market, while creating and establishing the children's fashion retail industry in Nigeria. Adenike Ogunlesi will be at this year's Global World Creation Summit, speaking on unlocking the world code of Nigeria.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. This feels a little bit strange because I rather expected that I would see people and people would see me as well as I would see people. But it looks like you can all see me and I can't see anybody. So I'll try and do the best I can with this situation. I like to talk to people. I'm a Yoruba woman, Ojulorowa. I like to see people that I'm talking to. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen right now. So I'm just going to do the best I can with what I have here. So I'd like to say thank you very much for inviting me to share my thoughts on wealth creation in Nigeria and to share my journey on how I have been able to go from manufacturing and retailing children's clothing to investing in real estate and creating other streams of income. And I think this is what this is about, really. I liked what Clement was talking about. I was listening to him and I thought, was he looking at my notes? Because there's so many things that he said that I resonate with. And if you choose to go down the entrepreneurial journey, which is the journey I chose to take, it means that there is a lot that you're going to have to do. I in fact think that you're going to have to work 10 times harder than everybody else. But it begins, as he quite rightly said, which is the first thing I would like to talk about, is your mindset. And when I talk about your mindset, it's really about what is it that you actually want to do. So I started a business. What I really wanted to do was to prove that it was possible in Nigeria to make good quality clothing and to sell the good quality clothing. A lot of people didn't believe in it. They thought that I was not going to succeed. But I sat down to try and understand what I needed to do to succeed and understand the environment in which I was playing in. But 90% or 95% of what I needed was how was I going to see my environment and how was I going to use what I have to get what I want. So I don't like my circumstances to define me. I believe that I will always define my circumstances by looking at my circumstances and saying, what is possible here? And what is possible for me here? So I looked at it, what is possible for me to do in this space? It was uncharted. There were very few players in the industry. They were unstructured. How could I bring structure to this? How could I become like a Gap in Nigeria or like a Benetton or like a Marks and Spencer's? So I had these more superior international brands that I decided to benchmark myself against. It meant benchmarking yourself against international standard means that you're doing a lot more work than everybody else. But I also never wanted to be defined by local standards. I always wanted to be defined by international standards. But what problem was I going to solve? And who was I going to solve that problem for? Because money follows a solution provider. If you are unable to provide a solution and you're unable to provide value to people who are looking for solutions, then the money is not going to follow you. But when you are able to solve a problem or solve a need that somebody has, then money will follow you.
But then again, money has a language. You have to learn how to, first of all, make it. Then you have to learn how to keep it long enough to be able to create wealth with it, which means you can then take it into income generating assets that would then create wealth, because then you are not just getting money from one place and your entire portfolio is not dependent on one source of income. You become multidimensional. But the thing for me here is, it's very easy to talk about money. You cannot talk about money without building a structure that supports the vision to create wealth. So I realized that I needed to build a business that had structure, that was structured, that was beyond me. I didn't want to be self-employed. I think there's a big difference between being self-employed and creating a business that serves a community or serves the world, as in our case, we wanted to serve the world. I wanted our clothes to be bought by people from all over the world. And that's happening right now. It didn't happen in the beginning, but it's happening right now. So it meant that I needed to learn how to run a business. And so I had to draw up a personal development plan, not knowing that that was what I was doing at the time. I needed to go to Lagos Business School to learn about how to build structure in a business. Because if I didn't build the structure that would support my desire to serve, I wouldn't find the money that I was looking for or the money that I wanted. So I needed to build that support, and that support system has to include people who are the right people in the right jobs doing the right things. There is no point in hiring people, and we as entrepreneurs make that mistake a lot of the time. We hire people because everybody is stressed. You need somebody. I've made that mistake so many times, so many times. And you want to get away from that. You want to know who you need, what you need them to be doing, what is their JD, what are their KPIs, because what you don't measure, you are not going to be able to draw the kind of value that you need from it. So I went to the best university in the world. It's called the University of Life. I never went to a university or business school until I decided to go to Lagos Business School. So I really learned from the University of Life. And I learned by taking personal responsibility for myself and taking personal responsibility for the way I saw things and the things that I wanted to see and the meaning that they had in my life. So when I was faced with a challenge, my mother used to tell me this: there's a way through it, there's a way under it, there's a way around it, or there's a way over it. You just need to find it. So you have to ask yourself the questions that help you find the insights that give you the answers to what it is you want to achieve. So you must begin with the end in mind. What was my end? I wanted to build a fantastic company that would make Nigeria proud, that could stand shoulder to shoulder with international companies, that would be run like an international company, that the environment would speak to international standards. So excellence is one of our values. I think you spoke, when you were speaking, you were talking about who are you, what do you want, what are your beliefs, what are your values. For me, your values will define your daily decisions and your daily choices. And your daily choices and decisions would literally design and create your destiny. So you've got to be deliberate and intentional about that outcome that you want to see in your life at the end of the day. I wanted to be in a position where I was the enabler. I could support people, a solution provider. I can be in a place where when there's a need, I know how to fill that need within the context of the business that I am operating in. So I've not really gone out of the business we're operating in. 2 years ago, because the Naira is so volatile, because the Nigerian economy is so volatile, we sat down and looked at our business and looked at the entire value chain of the business and decided, look, how can we draw value from what we already have? We must be able to draw more value from what we already have. So what did we do? We decided to break the business up into 3 different businesses. One is a retail business that has 17 retail outlets all across Nigeria. The other one is called Gatimo Apparel that has manufactured over 1 million face masks since the beginning of COVID. The third one is e-commerce for our retail and business. These are the three platforms that we use to generate income. The fourth platform is real estate. So we also invest in real estate because real estate, whatever, no matter what is happening, the value, if it's bought in the right place, will always continue to grow, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So I want to go back just a little bit to talk about business with challenges. Nigeria is a country where if you are not resilient or you have not built the muscles of resilience, you will not survive. And to build your muscles of resilience, you have to begin with yourself. And I say everything begins with you. Everything begins with the way you think. Everything begins with what it is exactly that you want to achieve. And I realized that when I'm faced with a challenge, this is where I meet myself. This is where I know what I'm made of. This is where the decisions I make will shape me for the rest of my life. So I learned to become a critical thinker, to sit down, not get analysis paralysis, but to sit down and think through what it is I want to achieve and the outcomes I wanted. So I became an outcomes thinker, which I think Stephen Covey puts beautifully when he says begin with the end in mind. And the end in mind was to create an organization that would serve, but at the same time make lots of money serving. I don't know if that makes sense. Not being able to see people or talk to people for me is, I'm sorry, it's a bit off-putting, if I may say so, and I had no idea it was going to be like this. But I'm trying my best to continue to try and do this the best way I can. Yeah. So I think for me, the most important things I would like to leave people with here is know what it is that you want. Know who it is that you are. And the journey is the journey of who you will become as a result of all the experiences that you will meet along the way. We started in the back end of Mende with nothing. We moved to a whole building in GRA and then moved to our own ultra-modern complex. In 2 years, we're going to be in a new factory setting on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on 2 hectares of land, where we will have an ultra-modern garment manufacturing factory that can cater to the needs of the Nigerian market as well as the West African and African market, poised to take advantage of the African Trade Act that will soon come up. So I think I would leave you with this. It is your ability to be a solution provider that brings money. So money is the byproduct of your capacity to solve a problem and to keep solving a problem that people are willing to pay you for solving. And so there's never a destination. There are sort of like landmarks along the way. And along the way, the landmarks, some of them would be, wow, you would be so happy and so excited. Some of them you will fail, and it's okay. Embrace the failure. The important thing for me is, as a leader, how do you come back from a failure? How flexible is your mind? How agile are you? How quickly can you respond? They were talking about making face masks. They said they're going to make it in China. I got my people in, double quick. We made samples. We made a video. It went viral. Before we knew it, we were being called by state governments to make masks, all just like that. It was a risk. Was it heavily calculated? No. But it was a risk I was willing to take, because what was I going to lose? Something will kill somebody one day, I know, but I knew COVID wasn't going to kill me. I was going to take all the necessary precautions to make sure that everybody was well taken care of, everybody was well provided for. And this is the responsibility of leadership in every business. Your people are important. Without the right people, you have no business. With the right people, you can achieve anything and everything. It depends on what is the legacy you want to leave. For me, legacy includes the kind of impact that I have on the lives of the people who are entrusted in my care. And so for us as an organization, Gatimo Limited is about creating possibilities. The same way the people in Alaba market, it's a 4.8 billion naira market. What are those guys seeing that we are not seeing? I don't get it. They're making incredible amounts of money in that place. What are they seeing that we're not seeing? Do we overanalyze? Is it our mindset? Where is our mindset? Where is our belief system? We can get rid of all of these things and recreate ourselves. We define who we want to be, we refine it, and we redefine it. That is evolution. We have to evolve as leaders. We have to evolve as business leaders. And we have to evolve as an example to our people that anything is possible. So I'm not asking my people to do anything that is not possible, that they can't do, that I haven't done. So we're on a bus. It's going to be a beautiful ride. It's going to have flat tires, lots of them, and there's going to be great big potholes on the way. But you know what? We're going to enjoy it because we're not going to be defined by our circumstances. We're going to create the circumstances. We're going to define the space that we want to be in. We're going to take charge and take control of the spaces that we want to be in. And I know that's easier. It sounds easier said than done, but that's where you build your mental muscles. That's where money doesn't come to people who are lazy, people who are not willing to take a risk. The bigger the risk, some people say, I take risks, but I don't take stupid risks. There's always has to be a business case. There has to be analytics. We have to analyze it. We have to see what is it that is in it that is of value, and how is it going to create a service or serve people. Because for me, leadership has to be responsible. Leadership has to self-regulate. Leadership has to be disciplined. Leadership has to be resilient, agile. Leadership has to be critical thinkers, solution providers. They have to be humble. You have to be able to listen to people who are smarter than you. You have to calm yourself down and listen to experts if you employ them to do things for you. You have to be able to do all those things. I don't know. I don't know what the feedback is, but I think for now, what I would say to you is, if you want to make money, find out what people need. Find out how you can provide that need, and find out how you can scale that need. And money is a byproduct of your capacity and ability to deliver on a service, on a product, to a marketplace. Thank you very much.
All right. So thank you so much, ma'am.
I wish I could have seen your face while I was talking.
I told them to do that actually. Thank you so much, man. That's very brilliant. Very inspiring. Thank you so much. I'm sure the whole social media is on fire right now by what you shared. Even though you couldn't touch, I can imagine your generation is different from our generation. Many of us
Totally.
are so used to speaking to camera, and then we monitor the feedbacks later. Thank you so much, man. That's very brilliant. Thank you
You're
so much,
welcome.
man. Thank you so much, man. So we'll be having a couple of questions later on. So I would appreciate if you could stand by for a few minutes, ma'am.
Okay, can
We
you
still
give
have two
me
other. Yes. So Prince, can you give me time?
because I'm still in my office.
All right, ma'am. So Prince, can you give us time, please? All right, ma'am. So the time will be 7:50 p.m., ma'am.
Okay, so I can actually go and set up at
Yes,
home.
exactly,
Yeah.
ma'am.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
ma'am.
much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. Over to you, Prince.
Niyi is Nigeria's #1 management consultant and CEO of 5th Gear Plus. Niyi Adesanya's professional experience has seen to the transformation of individuals and multinational organizations, resulting in their increased effectiveness and productivity. He is also a renowned author, executive coach, keynote speaker, and leadership development expert, and a member of the boards of various companies. Niyi Adesanya will be speaking at the Global World Creation Summit on Peak Performance Code for Wealth.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Clement Oladipupo. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I must say a big thank you to the sessions I've listened to. I was able to drop by when you were doing yours, Mr. Clement, and then Mrs. Ogunlesi blessed my life for real. And let me just correct this immediately. The profile that was read as me being the #1 management consultant, I think it was the overzealousness of some of the people in my office that brought that. Nobody has the right to call themselves #1 unless a reputable organization calls you #1. So I want to take that back, and not the #1 management consultant in Nigeria. I wish I could be, and if somebody gives me that, I will accept it with all my heart. But definitely, while we're here today, we're talking about peak performance code for wealth. Performance code for wealth. And then everybody needs to realize, and I think Clement did a wonderful job. Mr. Clement did a wonderful job. Mrs. Ogunlesi did an awesome job. You know, when Mrs. Ogunlesi was saying about Clement that she thought he peeped into our note. And definitely, I'm just wondering. I think I peeped into our own note also. So we'll have to sort all these things out eventually. But this is it. When we talk about peak performance, code for wealth, it's different from peak performance. And I think people need to realize that as we move forward. When you're a peak performer, it's a different ballgame entirely if you can transform that or convert that into wealth. So you must know that there is a big difference because you can be doing well, you can be achieving a lot of things, but if you do not know how to convert it, it's a mistake. And that's why, if you guys don't mind, there's a particular book that I read so much. It said, "The labor of the foolish wearieth him because he doesn't know how to go into the city." In other words, this guy's laboring, this guy is achieving so much, but he doesn't know how to translate it. Now, when we talk about peak performance, it's, churning out outstanding results. But when we talk about peak performance for what's it called, code for wealth, is churning out outstanding result consistently. Because actually, somebody who wants to deal with wealth is not into selling. I'll explain that. Somebody who wants to deal with wealth is actually into the game of reorder. If you sold once and you do not sell again to that particular person, your capacity to earn more has been reduced greatly. Your capacity to experience wealth has been reduced greatly. Although you performed very well the first instance by selling, but if you do not sustain it, while you get more money from the same person over and over and over and over again, you're not going to go into that place of wealth. So when you look at corporate organization, you look at the ones have done so well. Let me give you a good instance. Apple, for instance. Apple has done so well, and then one thing about Apple is that they get you into a point where you have to become loyal. And then how do they get that? By delivering continuous, consistent, improving their performances. Now, year 2007, the annual income of Apple was like $24 billion. Let's just say $25 billion, $24.5 billion. But in 2019, I mean, every year they were raising the stakes. And by 2019, their annual income was is about $260 billion. Just imagine if Apple stayed at 2007 and it felt, okay, we have achieved 24.5 billion, we are okay. No, that is not peak performance for peak performance code for wealth. A peak performance code for wealth is something that must be continuous every day and every time, every year in and out. So by the time we're talking about you increasing your capacity to earn more money or to be wealthy, what we are automatically telling you is that whatever you're doing right now must be consistent and must be going on. And then when we talk about peak performance, let's even look at peak performance first before we start seeing how we can translate it into wealth. Because there's a gap between peak performance and peak performance code for wealth. And you must know how to fill in that gap. First, are you a peak performer yourself? So if you're not a peak performer yourself, then you need to do an X-ray and look at how can you raise your game. Because in this game of wealth, in this game of acquiring more things, and I mean, investing in real estate, growing your business to the point that you can earn more money and diversify the funds into some other things, requires that you are a performer, not just a performer, but a peak one. And I would like to share something with you that could help you quickly in the few minutes that I have to upgrade your performance level. Although I have a formula that I always teach people now to increase your competitiveness, because once you increase your competitiveness, what you have automatically done is to increase your performance, because you can never be competitive without being a performer. So I have that formula. I'll just share that briefly, but I'm not going there. And you can always look at that and probably Google on that and find out more about it. What I teach people to be competitive is that I tell them there's a formula that it is what you know plus how you express what you know, multiplied by who you know and who knows you. Now you can see that is very loaded. What you know, how you express it, because you can know so much, but if you do not express it very well, then forget about it. You, as far as we are concerned, we do not know what you know. You can know 10 things or 20 things or 100 things, but in my own world, if I realize that you do not know more than 10, you may know 200, but if your money is in my pocket, you do not know more than 10. So what that means is that it is your responsibility to tell me how to express what you know to me in a very, very, very nice way and impactful way. And then look at that, what you know plus how you express what you know multiplied by who you know and who knows you. We'll talk more about that as we move on. And that's a formula that you have to think about and you begin to talk to yourself. And then we'll talk about peak performance. Actually, what we're talking about is knowledge, speed, and precision. Knowledge, speed, and precision. Knowledge, speed, and precision. You must acquire the knowledge needed.
I think it is network issue. So we might have to bring him back again. Prince, if there's anything we can do quickly, it's a network issue. I think it's frozen on its end over there. All right, so let's make the quick adjustment, please. Thank you. All right, so Prince, can you please add? Good. Mr. Taddy Cash. Yes, I think you are mute. We're not hearing your voice. Can't hear you. We can't hear you. Not at all. Maybe you should leave the room and come back in. Leave the room and come back in. Yeah. All right. So we apologize for this. Okay. Good. Welcome, sir.
I'm back.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Please go on.
I'm really
yes, sir.
So we're getting used to the new normal. We get cut off anytime by our network. Just forgive us, please.
Yeah.
Now let me get back. Let me get back to business quickly. Because I have limited time. I said I'm going to share more things with us to increase our performance and make sure that we are unique and that we are competitive at every point in time. I call it peak, and peak is PICC, not PICK. The first P that talks about people, and I think Mrs. Ogunlesi has spoken a lot about that, because you as an individual, you must realize that you as a person must be the number one performer in your organization or anything you do for you to be able to acquire wealth and to understand the code. But I will not delve too much in that. But for you to be a peak performer, you need to do three things. You need to do what I call number one, self-mastery. Number two, you must have the business mastery. You must understand the business that you're going into. You must understand it in and out. And then number three, you must also understand the people that you're dealing with, your clients, your customers, your stakeholders, everybody that has something to do with your business. You must master it. Self-mastery, business mastery, and people mastery. It's very important. And then the I talks about the infrastructure, because you know what, look, come to terms with this. Some people are better than you. The reason why they are not known is because they are not in that structured or infrastructure that you enjoy. You have a lot of privileges that they do not have. You have the capacity they do not have. That doesn't mean you're better than them, but because you are in a better infrastructure, I mean, you have the tools. You can travel to so many places. You have in a premium place. You know, if you have an air conditioner blowing over your head every now and then, it makes you think better than some people who do not have. So if you want to increase your performance as an individual or as an organization, what you need to do after you've taken care of the people, you need to look at your infrastructure. How comfortable is it for people to think? Because once the environment is conducive, then the result is raised. The environment raises the result. And then the third one talks about culture. Culture talks about your values, your beliefs, because nobody becomes a performer outside value. The reason why we say you're a performer is because you give us value. You raise your value every now and then. And then for you to raise your value, you must have that believability you're good. Anybody who does not believe that they are good, anybody who does not understand the fact that it is first within before it is outside, then the person can never perform to that, what's it called, to that stage that we're talking about of acquiring wealth. Now, that is the second C, culture. Now, your job as an individual right now, even as an organization, if you're leading an organization, is to ensure that you control the culture in your environment. You control the culture in your organization. And then that's what I call the atmosphere for performance. There is something called atmosphere for performance. If you do not create that kind of atmosphere first for yourself and for the people that works with you, then forget about it. You're not going to see the kind of performance that you're looking for. I see a lot of people do all these things. You know, they go and poach a guy from an office and they bring the guy from that office to their office, but the guy who was a outstanding person in that office cannot achieve so much in their own office. You're wondering why. I thought you were a good guy. That's why I went for you. I thought you were good. What's happening here? The reason is not because of that guy. The reason is because of the atmosphere, the culture that is in your organization. So if you poach somebody, you better poach the culture and the atmosphere along with you. Because you know what, there's some things that we do, those of us in the developing world, the way we hustle, the way we do a lot of things, the way we push a whole lot of things here, you know, we take that same drive and that same mentality and attitude into the Western world. It is highly possible that we'll achieve more than we are achieving here. Why? Because there is an enabling environment that has been created based on the culture. But you know what? Even if I don't have the capacity to even if the government or the society that I live in does not have the right culture, the right atmosphere, I have the responsibility to create that kind of atmosphere in my own environment. I have the responsibility to create that atmosphere in my own organization. Somebody who is outstanding outside can come to your organization and not perform. And somebody who is not performing very well elsewhere can come into your organization and start performing. It all depends on the culture. It all depends on the atmosphere that you have created. Guys, there's something called the atmosphere for performance. Note that. And then we'll go to the last one, which is connection and collaboration. Connection and collaboration together. Now, let me say, in a free market, when there is little or no regulation from the government, but it's not about who you know in the government that gives you your money. And, you know, competence is king. Competence is king. But when you are in the Western world, you have somebody like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, and then they all come up and then, you know, self-personal development, and they do great things, marvelous things based on their intelligence and everything. That's competence. But when you're in an environment or in a country that is not a free market, so we all say it's all free market, but we know when there is too much of government regulation, then you realize that your competence may not take you too far. So you need to realize that all the things that you need to have there is collaboration and connection. Yeah. So competence and collaboration, competence and connection will help you bring out the best that you have. The best footballers in the world are not the ones that we are seeing. It is not Messi that is the best footballer in the world. The best footballer in the world was so just unfortunate to collaborate or connect with somebody that could bring out the best in him or bring him to the best stage or the big stage. The best singers in this world are not the ones that you're seeing right now. They're not Beyonce's. They're not all that. The best guys you can see, you're seeing right now, not. But there's a guy there who was doing very well on the street, but he was so unfortunate not to be connected with somebody that can introduce him to that big stage. So connection is absolutely important in anything you do. And you know what? For those of us who were born into the kind of family that I was born into. You know, we were not born with any golden spoon, no wooden spoon, no spoon at all. No, let me correct that. Actually, I was born into a good family that had golden spoon, every spoon. But after a while, you know what happened? They took the spoon off us, and then we went from IHOP there to what, ground zero, and then to the point that when I was going to go to my do my WAEC. No, don't worry. You guys can get my age. I did WAEC. I didn't do SSC. And then, you know, when I was going to do my WAEC and write my WAEC papers, and that is what you write if you're in Nigeria, that after your secondary school or your high school, you write. It was the Parents Teachers Association that actually paid for it. That's how bad the situation was then. Then it was dawned on me that for me to release the giftings, the greatness that I have, to release this potential that I have, to release this performance that I have, definitely I need to have some collaboration and some connections. Please, guys, don't be fooled. Nobody is self-made. Everybody was helped by someone. Don't be fooled. Don't let them tell you any other thing that this guy is self-made, or somebody come to make some proclamation that I'm self-made. Nobody's self-made. Everybody was helped by somebody along the line. And check this out. Check this out. There is the people that call the 1% population of the world, working population of the world. Those are people who make $1 million and above every year annually. Those 1% of the people, according to Oxfam, made 82% of the wealth. In 2017, Oxfam said that they made 82% of the world in 2017. Now, they left 18% for 99%, 18% of the world for 99% of the working population to be dealing with. And this, according to Credit Suisse, these people were 36 million people out of 3.6 billion people on working population of the earth. Can you imagine 1%? Making 82%, and they left 18% of the wealth for 99% to be battling with. You know, if it were you, what would you be doing? You should be doing a study on all those people. Who are they? How are they thinking? Where are they? What should I do? What could I be doing right now to break into that 1%? I did my research. They said for you to break into this 1%, number one, you need to be born into it. I wasn't born into it. Number two, you need to be married into it. It's about too late for some of us who are married right now because you can't change your mind. You should not change your mind. You can't change your mind. Yes, I refuse you to change your mind. You must not change your mind. Definitely, you should not change your mind. Not now. And number three, which you could think, is that they say you must have attended an Ivy League school. Wow. I mean, you must have been to Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, and all those big schools for you to break into that 1%. Now, if you can tick those 3 boxes, you know what that means? That means, could there be a peak performance code for wealth creation for me? Definitely. Because if you look critically at those 3 things they mentioned, 1, born into it is relationship. 2, married into it is relationship. 3, attend an Ivy League school, you interact with people who are there. You know what? Those 3 points is all based on relationship. What am I trying to say? For you to break into wealth, for you to attain this peak performance for the code for wealth, you need to connect with people who are already there. And guess what? LifePage gives you that opportunity to connect with them. So you cannot afford to miss this opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to let loose of your greatness. This is an opportunity to release that potential of wealth. This is an opportunity to secure the future of your children. The things that you did not enjoy, your children must enjoy. The school that you did not go, your children must go. The places that you have never been to, your children must be there. You must expose them. And the only way you can do that is by connecting and collaborating with an organization that has something planned for you. And then once you connect that and we can pull it together and partner together, you know what happens? there is a release of that potential. There is a release of that performance. And guess what? Your children will be glad that you took that decision to connect, not just to connect, to create the culture, the atmosphere for performance, create the infrastructure. But how do you create infrastructure when you don't even have the money to create it? How do you create infrastructure when you don't even know the right infrastructure to make? That is why when Clement was talking about he's a coach, a financial coach and everything, you know what, guys, I would advise you get into the chat box and start asking him, how do you get him to mentor you or to coach you? That is a lead way for you into wealth, peak performance for wealth. Ring him right now. Send him a text right now. Inquire from everyone on the admin. Start calling right now. Tell them, I want to connect. I want to collaborate with you. Because you know what, guys? The sky will never be your limit. When you are held in the hand by somebody who's been there, it is only the guys in the 1% that can get you into that 1%. And Clement Oladipupo Life Page gives you that opportunity to release your greatness. Don't miss it. Your children will be glad you took the decision today. Thank you. God bless you.
Wow, 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 wow. I feel like just jumping out of my body. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that the whole world is on fire right now. I think the momentum is building up. It can matter. Okay, thank you so much. Thought-provoking session. Now, may I suggest to everyone watching us from wherever you may be, anywhere in the world, that you do a quick one right away. Number one, you want to quickly follow us on all our social media platforms at Life Page Global on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. You need to do that right away. And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you also want to follow us very quickly. Subscribe, just click the subscribe button on Life Page Group on YouTube. You want to do that right away. Also, if you are following this lecture series, some of you are just joining in, some of you have been in all along. I want to encourage you to drop your questions. Once the our final speaker for tonight is through, we will be taking all the questions. All the speakers who have spoken today will be taking all the questions. So you don't want to miss out on Q&A. Q&A is going to be personalized, it's going to be customized. So let's begin to send in our questions. For those of you who are on the Telegram channel, find a way to just communicate to the official numbers that have been reaching you. You can also send a mail. You can send your questions via the mail, and you can also drop it on the social media platforms where you're watching right away, and it will be picked, and then we will take time to address them. So let's welcome Mr. Tadikash. You got something to say? Still can't hear you. Wow. Can't hear you at all. Maybe you do without the speaker, the earpiece. Not at all. All right. So our time is fast spent. I'm sure it's a technical glitch that's happening over there with Mr. Tadikash, but not to worry. Everything is under control. So right away, we will usher in our next speaker. It's my mentor, my spiritual mentor, my business mentor is being there with me. This is the man who pulled me to become who I am today. And you just don't want to miss out on this session. So please fasten your seatbelt and let's take the introduction to our next guest speaker. Thank you.
Dr. Olumide Oladapo Emmanuel, popularly known as the Common Sense Guru, is no doubt one of the world's leading relationship experts, motivational speakers, and wealth creation agents. He is a man of multiple grace whose influence spreads across the religious and secular arena with local and international awards to show for it. He is a best-selling author of over 30 books, both from self-published platforms and world-renowned publishing houses. His books are well celebrated worldwide, with 8 of them already translated in other languages. Dr. Olumide Emmanuel will be speaking at the Global Wealth Creation Summit on Wealth Preservation and Entrepreneurial Code for Wealth.
You're welcome, sir. Hello. Okay, we are on. Hello, everyone. You're welcome to World Summit 2020. It's wonderful to be a part of this. I've been enjoying myself. I've tuned in since the beginning. The first session by Timothy was awesome. The second session by Mrs. Adenike was awesome. And the guru himself, Nia Adesanya, just did an amazing job for us. Well, I'm going to be taking us very briefly because we have we have limited time and we have to maximize the time that we have to see how much we can share. But everything I'm going to be sharing with you is going to be from the School of Money book. I'm going to be taking you on the Entrepreneurship Code for Wealth. So I'm just going to go straight to the entrepreneurial model. Now, this book, the School of Money book, it's a book that you need to have. If you don't have this book already, you need to get a copy of the book. Talk to Life page, get a copy of the book, because I'm going to take you on the entrepreneurship model from the School of Money book. And it's very difficult for us to be able to completely deal with everything we need to look at with reference to entrepreneurship. But the book deals with how to make, manage, and multiply your money, and also serves as a blueprint for entrepreneurs. So if you want to go into entrepreneurship, then you need to get the book and learn all that you need to learn. I personally believe that entrepreneurship is the solution to many of the challenges we have on the continent. On the continent today, poverty is an issue, unemployment is an issue, corruption is an issue. And I believe that once we are able to get the entrepreneurship code right, we can deal with this aspect of our challenges on the continent. Number one, people are poor because they don't know how to create wealth. So the very many people know how to create wealth, poverty becomes a thing of the past. People are unemployed because the jobs are not out there. So a lot of people are looking up to the government to create jobs for them. And then when we are, electing people into office, we are looking up to them as the source of sustenance and employment for us. But that's not the way it works, because all over the world, it is not the job of the government to create jobs for you. It's the job of the government to put infrastructures in place and create an enabling environment for small businesses to thrive. All over the world, it is small businesses that grow the economy and create the job. So that means that if we're going to solve the unemployment problem on the continent, we need to make entrepreneurship a priority, because when you start your business, I start my business, she starts our business, together we can begin to employ 2 people there, 10 people there, 12 people there, and before you know it, we have jobs. When we talk about corruption on the continent, a lot of people steal because of fear of the unknown, because of uncertainty. They are not sure what the future holds, so they want to steal all they can and can all they get. So once they know how to create wealth, then it can help with the issue of corruption also. So you find out that entrepreneurship is very, very, very important for wealth creation. Now, in the entrepreneurship model in the School of Money book, there are a lot of things that are outlined there. I'm going to just let you know what the outlines are. However, I will not be able to deal with them extensively. Number one, we'll look at definitions of entrepreneurship. Who is an entrepreneur? Number two, in the book, we talk about 10 reasons why many people want to become entrepreneurs. So why do you want to go into business? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why do you want to run your own business? There are many reasons that people give. We deal with that extensively in the book. Number three is 20 questions to answer before you go into business. Before you go into business to become an entrepreneur, there are questions you need to answer. You remember when Mrs. Ogunlesi was speaking, she was talking about the fact that when you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be resilient. You have to be ready to work like 20 times as hard as others. And that's the truth, because a lot of people think, oh, I want to start my own business so that I can have time for myself. I will not say yes to anybody. Foul. Once you become an entrepreneur, you will still continue to say yes, sir, to your customers forever. When you become an entrepreneur, there's no resumption time, there's no closing time. You work forever. So you need to understand that. So those are reasons why you need to answer those questions. So before you become an entrepreneur, there are questions you need to ask yourself to be able to ascertain whether you are really set to go into entrepreneurship or not. Another thing in the entrepreneurship model, number 4, is 10 excuses people give for not becoming entrepreneurs. A lot of people give excuses, and they are supposed to have become entrepreneurs. Oh, what if I start a business? What if it doesn't work? What if it works? So all the reasons that people give to stop them are reasons why you should not become one of those people that are stopped by those reasons. Number 5 are vital sectors to explore. When it comes to entrepreneurship, there are loads of sectors that are anywhere in the world. There are sectors that if you go into them and you start business in any of those sectors, you will do well. And in each of those sectors, there are channels and avenues and dimensions you can go into. And that's one of the things you see in the model. So today, let me see how much I can drop from that model just to help you with this entrepreneurship code. Number 1, let's talk about definition. Let's give you a few things. Now, an entrepreneur, simply put, is a value creator. An entrepreneur is what? Is a value creator who offers products and services to solve problems, meet needs, and answer questions. What does it mean? So when we say you are an entrepreneur, we are saying you are a value creator. You are creating value, because if you are going to become rich, Timothy was saying it when he started out, if you're going to become wealthy, you need to know how to make money, manage money, and multiply money. So everybody, your journey to wealth creation begins with making money. But you make money either by working for yourself or working for others. So when you choose to work for yourself, that's what entrepreneurship is all about. When you choose to work for others, even though you choose to work for others, you still have to be an entrepreneurial staff. Because in order to become wealthy, you either go through the career portal, the entrepreneurship portal, or the investment portal. So whether you choose to be a career person, an entrepreneur, or an investor, you need to still make sure that you define what you want to do and you do it the best way it's supposed to be done. So an entrepreneur, simply put, is a value creator, because money flows in exchange for value. What does it mean to offer value? It means that you are answering questions, it means you are meeting needs, and it means that you are solving problems. So as an entrepreneur, you are a value creator. All you are doing is, how can I solve problems for people? How can I answer questions for people? How can I meet the needs of people? So when you are an entrepreneur, you see money where others see problems, because you realize that every problem equals to money. You see money where other people see crisis, because you realize that in every crisis there are opportunities, and that's what sets you apart as an entrepreneur. So while people are complaining about things, you are seeing the money in the midst of the problem, you are seeing the opportunity in the midst of the crisis, and you are leveraging that to offer value, and then money flows as you offer value to people. So you need to understand that as an entrepreneur, you are a value creator. An entrepreneur is a risk taker. Life is all about risk. The word risk, R-I-S-K, add E-Y to it, R-I-S-K-E-Y, and you get risk key. Risk is a key to success in life. So if you are ever going to become successful, you must be ready to take risks. You also heard that said when Mrs. Ogunlesi was speaking about risks. Now, you need to understand whatever risk you want to take must be, number 1, an informed risk, and number 2, it must be a calculated risk. Everybody take risk on a daily basis, but unfortunately, a lot of people take risk away from wealth. They take risk in the place of foolishness and ignorance, but entrepreneurs take risk in the direction of wealth creation, and in the direction of value creation, and in the direction of solution provision. And because they take informed risk and calculated risk, they excel where other people have problems. As an entrepreneur is also a risk taker. Now, the next thing is, entrepreneurship is a spirit. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You need to get it or develop it. It's a spirit. To say you are an entrepreneur, it is from within. Dominion is an inside job. Entrepreneurship is an inside job. They don't lay hands on you to become an entrepreneur. So entrepreneurship is not by laying on of hands. Entrepreneurship is not as a result of somebody, pushing you into it. No, it is an inside job. It comes from within. And once you understand that, you'll be able to. So entrepreneurship is a spirit. It's a spirit of risk taking. It's a spirit of innovation. It's a spirit of creativity. It's a spirit of resilience. It's a spirit of I can do it. It's a never give up spirit. It's a spirit of consistency. It's a spirit of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but courage is going on regardless of your fear. So as an entrepreneur, is a spirit. Now, entrepreneurship is also a major vehicle of wealth creation. When we talk about vehicle of wealth creation, there are 4 top vehicles that people use to create wealth in the world. Number 1 is real estate. Number 2 is entrepreneurship. Number 3 is money market or financial market. Number 4 is intellectual property. The number 1 vehicle of wealth creation is real estate, because it is not just the vehicle of wealth creation, it is also a vehicle of wealth retention. So entrepreneurship is the second. Entrepreneurship is a vehicle of wealth creation. So you want to move from point A to point B, as Timothy was saying in the first session, where you are, where you need to be. So the vehicle that takes you from your present financial position to your desired financial destination, that vehicle is entrepreneurship or real estate or money market or intellectual property. So there are lots of vehicles you can use, but one of them is entrepreneurship. So you want to become wealthy, entrepreneurship is the key. So going into entrepreneurship must be for the right reasons. So you want to be an entrepreneur. If you say, I want to be an entrepreneur so that I can make money, please don't. Because if making money is the reason for you wanting to be an entrepreneur, you have already missed it. If going into entrepreneurship for the purpose of making money is why you want to go there, please don't. You know why? Because if you are thinking of going to make money, you'll be frustrated out, because entrepreneurs don't go into entrepreneurship to make money. They go into entrepreneurship to solve problems, to meet needs, and to answer questions. That means they go to offer value. So your focus should be offering value, not making money. Because when you become an entrepreneur, you find out that you may end up having to pay other people without paying yourself. You'll find out that even when you are making the money, you have to keep reinvesting the money into the business so that the business can grow before you can get into a point where you begin to make money from the business. Because you have to, first of all, build the business before the business can build you. And that's very, very important. So why do you want to go into entrepreneurship? You need to answer the question, why? Because if you want to go because you want to be a CEO, I'm an entrepreneur, CMD CEO, and have complimentary card, foul. So get that sorted out. Next thing you need to settle is you need to do a self-evaluation. So a self-evaluation must be done before going into entrepreneurship. Why do you need to do that? You need to ask yourself, do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Because it's not just about your intelligent quotient. Do you have the emotional quotient for entrepreneurship? Do you have the skills for entrepreneurship? Do you have the emotional capacity for entrepreneurship? Do you have the relational capacity for entrepreneurship? Do you have the resilience for entrepreneurship? Do you have the ability to work with people? Do you have the ability to work in the midst of dysfunction, to work in the midst of an environment that is not a straight line? If you don't do that self-evaluation to find out whether you have what it takes or not, you may end up running out. Next is you must come into a place where no excuse must be strong enough to keep you out of entrepreneurship. Because in the rat race of life, even if you win the race, you are still a rat. So you must move beyond all this rat race of salary. Salary is not the way to create wealth. If you want to create real wealth, it's not by salary. So you need to settle this question. No excuse must be strong enough to keep you out of entrepreneurship. So once you have made up your mind that you want to become an entrepreneur, settle all these issues and then plug in. Now, in wrapping up, I want to share with you the areas you need to look at when it comes to entrepreneurship. What are the major sectors you should look at for entrepreneurship? Number 1 is the food and agricultural sector. So the food and agricultural sector and all its value chain is one of the sectors you should be looking at when you want to go into entrepreneurship. Everything food, everything agric. Look at that as a possibility. Number 2 is clothing and the fashion. Anything fashion. Clothes, shoes, wristwatches, hair, makeup, everything in the fashion, hospitality, area. You need to look at that. That's another area you can think of when it comes to entrepreneurship. Number 3 is shelter and real estate. So anything that has to do with real estate, anything that has to do with housing and the entire value chain, that's something you need to look at. Number 4 is communication. Anything that has to do with telecommunication, anything that has to do with communication, communicating with people, telephone, internet, anything communication. Look at that. Then next, number 5, transportation. Every aspect of transportation, you need to look into that. It can be haulage, it can be bus, it can be train, it can be air, it can be car, it can be buses, it can be trucks. Anything in the transportation value chain is something you need to look at. Number 6, education. Anything that has to do with education, because these are things that people will spend money on everywhere in the world. So wherever you are in the world, these are the major places where, no matter where you are, these are sectors that does not fail. Once you go into those sectors and you put things in place, you will excel. So education, whether it's online education, physical education, and all the value chain in education, you look into that. Number 7, finance and investment. Whether it's fintech, whether it's whether it's financial education, whether it's financial transaction, whether it's financial securities, anything that has to do with finance, stock market, capital market, money market, but all those sectors, that's something you can look into. Next is media. Media, whether it's social media, online media, new media, television, radio, anything media, anything technology is something you need to look into. Number 9, safety and security. Anything that has to do with safety and security, those are things that you need to look into. So safety, security, CCTV, security guards, security dog, security gadget, anything in the area of safety and security is good for you to go into. Then value system, religion, anything that has to do with NGO, CSO, non-governmental organization, faith-based organization, value system, helping people to align with value, anything in that area is something you need to look into. Number 11, manufacturing. You need to look, no matter how sophisticated this world goes to, we will continue to manufacture things. You just need to begin to automate your manufacturing. So manufacturing, begin to think of all the different things that we need, that people need all over the world, and look into manufacturing and all its value chain. Number 12, power and energy. Power, whether it's electric power, wind power, solar power, any form of power, hydro power, generating power, alternative energy, anything that has to do with power and energy, that's an area you need to look into, and the entire value chain. Next is sports. Anything that has to do with sport, any aspect of sport, and the entire value chain, whether it's to be in the sport itself as a practitioner, or sports management, or sport paraphernalia, or regalia, sports uniform, or sports sponsor, anything that has to do with sports, that is an angle you need to begin to look into. The next thing, number 14, is leisure and entertainment. Leisure and entertainment, anything that has to do with entertainment, you need to begin to look into how you can enter into that value chain at whatever level. Whatever level, sit down, look at all the dimensions and the value chain in leisure and entertainment, and plug in. Number 15, health and wellness. Anything that has to do with health and wellness. Health is wealth. Look at what COVID-19 is doing all over the world right now. Anyone that finds the cure for COVID-19 becomes a billionaire automatically. So health and wellness and all its value chain, everything regarding health and wellness, that's an area to explore. Then number 16, intellectual property. Coming up with your own product and your own service. That's how you print your own money. That is your own money heist. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. You want to print your own money, then go into intellectual property. Come up with your own product, your own service, your own idea that people can pay you for, and that you can get royalties and get commission from as people use it all over the world. Number 17 is vocational business. Invest in your vocation. Whether you are a doctor, there is a difference between the law, the medical profession, and medical business. There's a difference between the law profession and law business. So if you have decided that you want to be a teacher, you want to be a doctor, you want to be whatever vocation, go into the business of your vocation, and then you begin to make money from there. Now, having understood all these 17 different channels that you can go into for entrepreneurship, you now let down close with the 7 doorways in each sector. Now, for each of these 17 areas, yes, I'm moving very fast because we have limited time. I think I have just 2 or 3 minutes more. So now when you get the School of Money book, everything is from this School of Money book. So the School of Money book is the book that deals with everything. So I'm just taking you on a module from the School of Money. So you need to go to my website, olumideemmanuel.org, or contact LifePay to get the book so that you can get everything. Now, for all these 17 areas, there are 7 channels that you can decide to go into. So you can decide to go into the raw material. So when I say the value chain of each sector means that there are different aspects. So you can go to the raw material. That can be a value chain. So in food now, let's say food and agriculture, you can just go into raw material. That means you go into farming to produce the raw material for people, or you are producing the land or the manure or the seedlings for them. Then number 2 is the processing. You can decide to say, look, I'm not interested in all this farming stuff, but after you people have finished the farming, give me the cassava. Let me process it to gari. After you have finished it, give me the plantain. Let me process it to plantain chips. So that is where you are in the value chain. You are in the processing dimension. Number 3 is the packaging dimension of the value chain. You can decide to say, you know what? You will go to the farm, do all your plantain chips. I will be in the packaging. I will provide the nylon. I'll provide the sealing machine. I'll provide the printing of the stickers to make sure that your plantain chips is well packaged. So you can be in the packaging. So this is number 3. Number 4 is distribution and haulage. Your own can be, okay, when you people have produced all the product, I will come and help you carry it to the market. I'll be your dispatch rider to go and help you do delivery. I'll be your haulage truck to help you supply all the supermarket. That is a value chain. That's number 4. Number 5 is publicity and advertisement. You can decide to say, look, I will be the one to help you with publicity and adverts. So you go ahead and do all the business, but I'll be your social media manager. I'll be your media manager. I'll be your brand manager. I will help you publicize your product so that people can come and buy. That is a level. Number 6, marketing and sales. You can say, look, just do it, bring it, I will market and sell. And number 7, you can be involved in regulation and governance. You can say, look, let me go into politics or governance and be involved in what has to do with the regulation aspect. So once you choose which of the 17 sectors you want to go into, you go through the 7 steps to choose where in the value chain you want to be in. And then once you do that, you are good to go. So because of the brevity of time, I will have to stop now. So I will tell you, like they have said, follow me on all my social media platforms. Instagram at Olumide Emmanuel, Twitter at Olumide Emmanuel, Facebook at olumide.emmanuel, and then go to olumideemmanuel.org to get the School of Money book. And then one of the things you need to understand, like I was saying earlier on, is that real estate is the number 1 vehicle of wealth creation. And the reason why real estate is above all others is because it is the only vehicle of wealth creation that is also a vehicle of wealth retention. And that is why I'm so excited about the opportunity that LifePage has given today for as many people that want to be a part of the Million Homes. Now, the Million Homes is one of the platforms that have been put together to ensure that as many people become homeowners. And one thing you need to understand is you either have money to buy a house, or you have money to invest into a real estate platform that helps you to continue to earn whether you own the house or not. So for instance, in Million Homes now, we have a particular project that is being launched through this Wealth Summit, the Orange Apartment. Now, the Orange Apartment is one of the major opportunities that we are making available to you as you are part of this summit. And you know, the amazing thing about this is that you can become an owner of a solid state-of-the-art apartment in a highbrow area of Lagos, Nigeria. And in this Orange Apartment, we are launching it today, and we are opening it up for as many people as we plug in, so that you can partake of 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment that is available with different payment options that we'll be revealing to you in the course of this. Apart from the houses, that is 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom, Million Homes is an opportunity for you to invest money in this platform so that you can earn a good return And apart from earning a good return, you can also continue to earn more money in perpetuity. So let me talk to you about Million Homes. Now, for Million Homes, now we have two options. Option one, you can invest in Million Homes and get 23% return in 1 year. And all you need to do is to invest as little as 100,000 naira. As little as 100,000. So you may not be able to buy a house for 30,000 naira, for 30 million naira. But if 30 of you come together at 1 million, 30 of you can own the house that is 30 million. Why? You don't have 30 million, but 30 of you can have 31 million and have the house. You don't have 30 million, but 6 of you can have 5 million and own the house. But you can say, I don't even have 1 million, I don't have 5 million. That's why we are broken it to the lowest level. So with just 100,000 naira, you can buy into the Million Home opportunity. We put all the money together to build the orange apartments. People buy the orange apartments. Those that can afford to buy, they buy 1 bedroom, they buy 2 bedroom, and later on in phase 2, we do 3 bedroom. But those of you that cannot afford to buy the house, you put in a minimum of 100,000, and then you get on 25%, 23% return if you put in the money there for 1 year. But guess what? You can get up to 50% return. So what do you mean by that? If you leave the money for us for 2 years instead of 1 year, you get 50% return on your investment. That means when you bring 100,000, okay, let me put 100,000 with you people. In 2 years, you are going to get 50,000 naira. Do you now know the amazing thing? That's your 100,000. We will also now continue to give you rent forever. You say, how does that work? Contact us. We will give you rent forever. So it means that you don't have money to buy a house, but you can become a part owner of a property. And by putting in your money, a slot is 50. And we need a minimum of 2 slots for you to be able to excel. So when you do 2 slots, it's 100,000. With those 2 slots, you earn 23% in 1 year if you leave the money for 1 year. If you decide to leave the money for 2 years, you earn 50% return. And apart from the 50%, you will also be getting income forever because you will now be part of the owners of the house and you are sharing rents. And what that means is you can do it in multiples of 100,000. So you have 500,000, you have 1 million, you can do that. Do you know the amazing thing? As you are listening to me right now, you say, I don't have 100,000. Even as I am now, even 10,000 naira is my problem. I came to this so that you people will teach me how to make money. Well, Nii has told you the importance of people. Your net worth is determined by your network. So even if you don't have any money, you can still become a millionaire before the end of this year. How? By recommending other people to come and partake of the orange apartment or to invest in the Million Homes. And once you register as an executive with us, you become a marketer. Anybody you bring, for every money they bring, you will get a 5% commission. So without you having money, you can begin to make money by referring people. Every one of you listening to me right now, you have at least 250 people on your mobile phone and in your network. It's called the principle of 250. That means with these 250 people, investigate, come and ask us questions, do your due diligence, get them into the network so that we can together build wealth. Because you need to understand that everybody is crying does not mean you must join them to cry. And this Wealth Creation Summit is to help you to create wealth so that you can become one of the millionaires that will come out of COVID-19. So I believe that I've helped you all. So right now we declare orange apartments. We declare it open. The orange apartment is declared open. The opportunity is now open. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom in Ogba, in a serene area. Get ready to plug in. And then you want to invest, register. Go online now. All this, you see something scrolling. There's a scroll now. Visit that right now. Go online now. Visit bit.ly/2vd4dgx and then connect with us and become a part of the orange apartment and Million Homes, either as somebody buying a house or somebody investing into the real estate platform or somebody registering as a marketer to connect other people. Thank you very much. Over to the moderator so that we can do questions because of time. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I believe the teaching session was very phenomenal and was very inspiring. And I believe that we're all taking advantage of the opportunities. Just for everyone who has listened to what Dr. Lumide Emmanuel has said, if you can't afford, to buy an apartment, you should be able to invest and then be generating money. We have the details have been shared. We'll explain a little more tomorrow, but we need to start taking questions. For today, all that has been shared. If you need more information, please just reach out to us. Click that registration button there, and then you'll be very, very glad that you did. So, friends, can we have the question? Can we bring in all our speakers for today so that we can take all the questions? We have very limited time for today. Do we have questions, please? Okay, I think I should be able to see questions here. Okay. Unmute. We're still not hearing you. Wow. Still not hearing you. Seriously.
I need the generator. Tell your mommy I need it.
Okay. Friends, can we get the questions, please? All right, so if you want to subscribe, for those of you who are subscribing right now, these are the account details. You can fill that form. Just click that link, type out that link and that URL on your website, on the internet, and then register, and then you can wire the funds to those accounts. If you need more information, you can chat up the relationship management team that has been communicating with you about this conference, and then they will send you the brochure for more information. But this is a lifetime opportunity. We have very limited slots available, and you don't want this. You don't want to miss out on this. Let me also mention here, while you are all noting this, let me mention here that for the first 50 people who sign up to this, I have a coaching platform. I have a master class I take. Every one of us were brought to the top. We didn't get to the top just by chance. We were brought to the top. And some of the things I've been privileged to practice myself are the exact same things that we teach. So for the first 50 people who register, I'll be giving that to them free of charge. I'll be giving that coaching free of charge. This package itself is about 100,000 naira. And then you also come on my, what's it called now? You come on my coaching platform for a full year period, all for free. Once you registered, all the people who registered, first 50 people who register are going to be getting that all for free. Yes. And let me also mention here, very quickly, that if you also register, if you're among the first 50 people who register, you also qualify to be part of those who will get a 2-bedroom flat for free. So we're going to be running a grand draw much later. So you don't want to just miss out on this. So I need to establish some of these things. We are not trying to, this is what we do. The house is not going to be built. It's already built. It's not going to be built. We are not waiting for your money to do it. It's already taken care of. Somebody's also going to win an all-expense paid trip to Dubai. Once you plug in, all you just need to do is plug in. The offer is just for a limited period of time, and you just want to quickly plug in. The other thing, again, you stand to benefit or you stand to win, all right, is a full home settee, full settee, flat screen TV, generating set, refrigerator, a lot of other things all come together. Those are some of the things that we've lined up for those who are part of those who subscribe. So if you say you will do it in 48 hours and we already have 50, you may not be qualified to enter it. So you want to quickly plug into it right away. Now, what we've done basically is that we recognize the degree of poverty in town. But see, that's not an excuse. Those of us who have become who we are today, we didn't give any reason why we shouldn't invest, why we shouldn't do what we should do at the time we did it. So I'm giving to you here today that if you can't afford to buy a 30 million apartment, then you should be able, to plug in into what will fund your living. And there are those of you who may be listening, you already live in your own house, but that your own house is not just an asset. It's not an asset, it's a liability because it requires money to maintain. You need something that will be perpetuating cash flow for you from time to time in order for you to be able to maintain your living. So what we have done here with Million Homes is that if you can own where you live, or you own what funds your living. And this is very, very important. With Million Homes, you fund where, what funds, you own what funds your living. With Orange Apartments, you own where you live. With Million Homes, you fund, your living. I believe that is clear enough. Don't miss out on all of these things. There are 3 things I've mentioned. Once you are among the first 50 people, you'll be part of those who attend my Financial Freedom Masterclass. It's a 50,000 naira course, right? So it's not a cheap thing. Once you are there, I'm going to personally coach you. I have a 5 years, one of my life goals to raise 1,000 multi-millionaires within the next 5 years. And so when you come for that Financial Freedom Masterclass, you have the opportunity to be coached by me, and I will show you exactly what I do. Everything I tell you is practical, is original, no faking, no packaging. All right, and then again, to you revenue streams. The other thing you also benefit is that you also belong to my tribe. One of the things that has been very consistent from all our speakers this evening is the fact that you cannot rule out the place of network. You cannot rule out the place of connection. You can't rule out the place of collaboration. So what I found out is poor people move in communities. The same thing with rich people. Rich people too move in communities. When you go amongst the poor, you find them, they always hang around each other. Rich people to hang around each other. So that's the way it is. So who you follow determines what follows you. So you want to be sure that you are in the right tribe, you are in the right community. And that's what that also is. It's a subscription-based community. So you pay 2,000 naira monthly, but you are getting all that for free for a full year. So I don't know how else I can be a blessing to you other than what we've shared. And of course, by participating, by registering and subscribing for this offer, what happens automatically, all right, is that you also stand a chance to win any of those things I mentioned, 2-bedroom flat, fully paid for, yours for life. And then you also stand a chance to win an all-expense paid trip to Dubai. And then, of course, by the time the COVID-19 thing is over and then there's no restriction on movement, that is already taken care of. All right. And then also you stand a chance to win a full SETI for your home and TV screen and all of those things. So you want more information, just chat us up. 24 hours window is open. We have over 5,000 people registered for this event, and you don't just want to, don't be deceived by the views that you are watching alone. All right, so you want to take advantage of that. So somebody's asking a question here. How do I succeed in a toxic environment and make wealth? I don't know. Is any of us ready to take that question, sirs? How do I succeed in a toxic environment and make wealth? That's the question for someone here. Can Mr. Nia, this one? Okay, you want to answer the question, Tadi Cash?
Okay.
We are not hearing you. Wow. We're still not hearing you. All right, sir. Please answer the question, sir. Mr. Nia, this one.
Myself, I'm good.
Yes, sir.
I think we've mentioned that already. There is toxicity everywhere you go to. There's always a toxic environment everywhere you go to, but you can take control of your own life, your own environment. Now, what frustrates most people is that they try to take control of the things that they cannot control. First, where you start from is to take control of what you can control, and that is your own environment, your own bedroom, your own apartment, because that is where you spend most of your time. Most of your thinking time is in your bedroom, it's in your space. So after you've taken control of that, you've taken control of your mind, then you can begin to push towards taking control of the toxic environment. And we've explained it time and time again over this all this discussion. You need to look for people who have taken control of their environment and see how you also can learn some few things from them, because there is toxic environment everywhere. So learn from people who have done it, learn from people who are in control of their environment, and then before you know what's happening, you're good to go. So the first thing is take control of yours. You have control over your environment. Don't look at my environment. Don't look at the total environment. Don't look at the Nigerian environment. Take control of your environment and then join team with somebody who has done it, and then move with them, and they teach you all the what's it called, all the necessary principles and things to do. Because what we call a toxic environment is actually a fruitful environment for some other people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. All right.
Good. Okay.
So what can I do to make wealth as a nurse? What can I do to make wealth as a nurse? Dr. Lumide, would you mind to answer that question, sir? Hello, sir.
Okay.
All right, so maybe the control room, you guys need to take it a bit slowly, please. We are here to answer the second question before you move to another. Can you please take it a little slowly, please? Somebody is asking the question, what can I do to make wealth as a nurse? Hello, ma'am. Mr. Ogunlesi, ma'am, would you mind answering that question, ma'am? Somebody is asking, what must I do to create wealth as a nurse?
As a nurse,
yes,
you can begin where there's a need in that area. For example, there are old people who need special care. So you can actually start a nursing agency where you bring in nurses, you train them, you retool them to know how to look after people who are older. And because some of them even will stay in the homes of the older people, and you can charge a premium for that. So you can scale that by having offices in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, in Kano. It's a very scalable service, but you have to have structure. You can't do it alone, and you have to have people. And in that structure, you have to define what people are doing, what the responsibilities they have, and what their KPIs are, what the expectations are, and you have to hold people accountable.
Fantastic.
And run a business. You yourself lead by example.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So I think it's where you look after old people.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let me take this other question. Which agencies do I need to know to import goods? I think Mrs. Ogunlesi would answer this best too. Which agencies do I need to know in order to import goods? I know you do a lot of importation, and I know you do a lot of export as well.
To
Can
import?
Yes, ma'am.
It depends on what you want to import.
All right.
There's NAFDAC, there's Standards Organization of Nigeria, there's the Imports Council. There's so many agencies that are involved. So it depends on the country that you're importing from. It depends on the products that you're also importing, whether you need NAFDAC, you need standard organizations certification to be able to bring those things in. You also need to understand the financial implications, the payments you need to make upfront, the contracts. Are they manufacturing for you? Are they going to brand it? What are the terms of engagement? What are the terms of payment? How will you make those payments? Which banks are you going to use? Is it something you're going to fund with a loan? What is the interest rate of the loan? I mean, there are so many, questions around what you're going to import.
Excellent.
What you want to import.
Excellent. Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, somebody's asking the question, what is the meaning of PICC? I think that's for Mr. Niya Desoya. That's an acronym that he shared earlier. Hello, sir, over to you, sir. I think the network is failing us right now. All right, can we have, okay, so I think it's a network problem. So let me just say what it is. So he gave this as just for us to retain the information that he was trying to communicate. And so PICC is an acronym for people, infrastructure, culture, connection, and collaboration. So people, infrastructure, culture, connection, and collaboration. Connection and collaboration together. All right. I think that answers that. Can we move on to the next one, please? Next question. Can we move to the next question, please? Okay. All right, so while we're still waiting for more questions, let me quickly reiterate some of the things we've already mentioned. We want to encourage everyone here right now watching us on YouTube or Facebook. The next very important thing you must do is to follow us on all our social media platforms at LifePage Global, right? At LifePage Global on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. You also do well to click on the subscribe button on YouTube, right? So that every time we have updates, you will be able to get that. So you want to do that right away. And also, you can follow me at Adenike Ogunlesi. All our facilitators, all our speakers at this conference are all on social media platforms, so you can find them. Sir, can you please reiterate some of the things, your social media handles, if you don't mind, before I go to the next question, sir? Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, sir.
Okay, well, my social media handles, Twitter and Instagram is at Olumide Emmanuel. At Olumide Emmanuel. On Facebook is at olumide.emmanuel. Olumide.emmanuel. And then for my products, they can go to olumideemmanuel.org to get the School of Money books and any other products on wealth creation and entrepreneurship.
Mr. Lee, I beg your pardon, sir.
Okay, good. I think everything, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, when you type Nia Adesanya, you get it. And then my website also for my product is niaadesanya.com. niaadesanya.com. Type Nia Adesanya, you see my handsome face there, so it will be okay.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, ma'am. Adenike, yes, ma'am. So while we're still waiting for Mrs. Ogunlesi, so follow us at LifePage Global, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. And then click on the subscribe button at LifePage Group on YouTube. So when you go to YouTube, you see LifePage Group and just click the subscribe button. There's so much that is still coming up and you don't want to miss out on them. All right. You can also follow me at Adenike Ogunlesi, on all social media platforms. All social media platforms. You can also go on my website, adenikeogunlesi.com, and you'll be glad you did. Let me also establish. Okay, so let me quickly ask this question since we still have some more things coming up. How can I create capital when I don't have capital to start off? So
capital. Well, I don't know why people, you see, most of the time when people say they need capital, they're always talking about financial capital. Yeah. But financial capital is not all that you need. You already have all that you need. It will amaze you that if I give you 10 million naira now and you don't have what to do with it, the 10 million is useless. Why? Because you don't have idea capital. If I give you 10 million now, you say I want to do that, and I give you 10, and you don't have will to come and buy, then you know you don't have the people capital. So you need to start with the capital that you have. Integrity is a capital. Your relationship is a capital. The idea that you have is a capital. So start with the what you have, because you need to understand that when it comes to money and idea, there are people that have money without idea. There are people that have idea without money. There are people that have no money, no idea. And there are people that have idea and they also have money. So once you have an idea, that is a capital on its own. That's why, you know, in this part of the world, venture capitalists and angel investors is not something that is well pronounced. But in other climes, once you have a very good idea, bankable idea, you come up with a solid feasibility study and a solid business plan, money is not what you'll be thinking about. There are people with money. For instance, now, as I'm here now, Timothy is here, me is here, we have money to help you if you have a viable idea. Anybody that has solid ICT idea, any business idea you have, we have the money to help you. But if you don't have a good idea, money is not the issue. So stop thinking money. Because if you keep thinking money, you will close your spirit and your mind to every other thing. The way the mind works, whatever you are looking for is what you see. So if you say you are looking for money, that becomes a blockage. Every other thing that you have, you become, you know, ignorant of it. So to get the capital, start with what you have. And then you can also start saving. Because if you are looking for 1 million in 10 months' time, if you start saving 100,000 every month, that 1 million will appear in 10 months' time. Your future is in your seed. Your future is in your savings. Every money that comes into your hand is tripartite. There's a portion of the money that belongs to your past. There's a portion of the money that belongs to today. There's a portion of money that belongs to the future. That's what is called savings. Saving is setting money aside for a purpose. So if you start saving the little you have now, minimum of 10%, you can also gather some money to start with what you have from where you are, then every other thing will come in place.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So can we have more questions, please? Can we have more questions roll up? We have about 10 minutes left. Let's see how far we can go. All right, so that's the scholarship I mentioned earlier. So you want to be the first 50 people to register. I'm giving you free membership into my tribe called the Tribe of Wealthy Origin. We're raising 1,000 multimillionaires in dollars over the next 5 years, and I'll be coaching you through that process. And then you also have the opportunity to win a free financial freedom masterclass. So if you have not registered, if you have not signed up for Million Homes, you know, any of our products, then you'll be missing out. So you are just 48 hours. Yeah, I think 48 hours. Yes, you have 48 hours. And you know, the interesting thing about the offer we have right now is that you also have a 5-month payment plan, right? So you minimum of 2 slots is what you must subscribe for, and you have 5-month payment plan arrangement. So that means with 40,000 naira, you can lock this down even before this opportunity passes you by. And those who also subscribe within this season will also be among the people who stand a chance to win a 2-bedroom flat, stand a chance also to win all expense paid trip to Dubai, and also stand a chance to win a full home settee, a flat screen TV, generating set, and then a refrigerator. So you don't want to miss out on that. Chat us up right now to get the account details. The account details will come up on screen very shortly. So somebody's asking, how can I make wealth by holding master classes? How can I make wealth by holding master classes?
Now, okay, do you want me to answer that, or me should take that?
Okay, let's ask him, sir. Let's ask him, sir.
No, doctor, you take that. Doctor, you take that. Doctor, you take it.
Okay, so now, when you talk about making money by holding master classes, you need to understand that, like I said, value. What value do you have to offer? What information do you have that people will be willing to pay for? So the first thing you need to do is identify the values that you have, the information that you have that people need. So number one is discover what you have. What information do I have? What skill, what experience, what expertise, what formula, what strategy do I have that people need? That's number one. Number two, develop it. Develop it into a curriculum. Develop it. You know, Nii was talking about the fact that what you know and how you package what you know, and then who you know and who knows you. So the second one is develop it. So you know that, okay, I want to do master classes on health. I want to do master classes on how to increase your capacity. I want to do master classes on HR. You have discovered the master class you want to do. You have discovered you have experience and skill and information. Number two is what? Develop it. Let it become, develop it into a curriculum, develop it into modules, develop it into, PowerPoint, and gather all the information and let everything be well packaged. And then number three is deploy it. Deploy it means let people know. But in deploying it, it has to start with free. Don't think money first. Because people do so. Start offering it free. Operate what we call the funnel system. So in the funnel system, if you want to run master classes, run a free webinar. Do Instagram Live, do Facebook Live. Let people come. And then you give them a taste. Maybe mode 1, free. So when they come into mode 1 and they have seen the value, this man knows what he's talking about. This woman knows what she's talking about. You can now tell them, all of you, if you want more, then you can now plug them into the paid one. And then so you start with free because money flows in exchange for value. If you help other people to get what they want, they will all come together to help you get what you want. So don't think money first. Think value. It's when you are offering value, solving problem and meeting needs that money will now begin to flow. And then when you want to also deploy it, you have to segment your market. You have to have low market that you use to give back. You have to have medium market, and then you have to have the niche market. So there is a niche market where the real money will come from. You have to package something for those ones. The middle market, you have to package something for them. And then the open market, you package something for them. Because those in the open market today will become the middle market and the niche market of tomorrow. So don't ignore them, all in the name of niche market. Because to enter that niche market is a matter of who you know and who knows you. And you have to start with your immediate network and grow into that. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, somebody's asking here, what do you mean?
And if I may add this,
all right, sir, go ahead. Okay, sir. Go ahead.
So if I may add this, Doctor, just to add to what Doctor said, you also need to get somebody who is influential to get on your page or on your Instagram Live. They will help you attract the crowd that you want. Because no matter what you package, if we don't know you, we won't patronize you. So get how you can get Dr. Olumide to come in. So once he comes in on your Instagram Live, automatically everybody following will get a notification. So once they get the notification, you can now say whatever you want to say while you're talking with him. So use an influencer also to drive the crowd towards you to do that.
That is leverage. Other people's platform, other people's credibility, other people's experience. So leverage that. Okay, so Tim, you need to answer a question.
So I hope all of you are learning something. You are getting insight. All right. So those are the grandmasters sharing how they have done it over the years. All right. So let me just answer this very quickly. So Million Homes has 2 investment options. The current offer we just unveiled to you today has 2 platforms or 2 options. One is the Million Homes Growth, right? And then Million Homes Hybrid. The Million Homes Growth, right, has 1 year and 2 year duration for the investment. The minimum subscription is 2 slots. 1 slot goes for 100,000 naira, and then you can also spread payment for 5 months. So note this carefully. When you invest in Million Homes Growth, you want to get your money back and your capital back within a 1 or 2 year period. If you do 1 year, 23% guaranteed, no stories. We've been doing this now for 7 years, right? Before we brought it out in this dimension, right? And then 2 years, 50% guaranteed. What it means is if you invest 10 million naira and you decide to give the money or you invest that money over a 1 year period, you will be getting that money back with 2.3 million naira in addition. If you leave it for the next 2 years, you get that money back with 5 million in addition. So that means your capital plus the return on investment will be about 15 million altogether after the end of 2 years. Right. So that's very important. So if you get all those other details, once you register, you just need to, we'll show you how to subscribe shortly. The second option is Million Homes Hybrid. Now, this one combines growth and value and cash flow. This one combines growth and cash flow. So you get 50% return on investment over a 2-year period, and then for the rest of your life, you continue to earn rental income. But the only caveat here is that your capital must still remain. But for those of you who may not understand, any of you who have invested in any property before, you will know that it takes an average of 15 to 20 years to even recoup the investment in your property. So any investment in a property or in a housing project that gives you 50% return on investment in 2 years is more or less saying that what would have taken you 15 years to recoup is taking you just 2 years, and then you still have your capital intact that is giving you cash flow for life. And that is just out of the ordinary. So you don't want to miss out on that. So for those of you who may say, sorry, I don't understand this, you want to take the steps gently, then you can take the offer of the Million Homes growth. If you say, sorry, I'm interested in the cash flow, I mean, depending on where you are right now, if you're a retiree, you definitely require steady cash flow, predictable and perpetual cash flow. That is the rule of the game. That's how the rich people can continue to retain their wealth, because now what they used to labor for now is coming to them without them having to labor. So these are the account details. If you have not yet registered, you can't find your way around registration. Just do your transfers to those accounts and be among those who will be getting some of our giveaways. And then we can tidy up your registration later on. So let's take more questions. I think I've answered that question to the best of my ability. Don't forget to follow us, please. Don't forget to follow us. I think we need to wrap up now. Any more questions? Any more questions? Let's see if we have more questions. So all you need to do to be a part of this grand draw and this scholarship is to register for Million Homes. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Can we take more questions, please? If we have
He said no more questions.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. All right. So on this note, we want to bring this meeting to a close. I think we have a video to play, but sir, we can release you now. I think we can release both of you. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your great input. We are still going to be having another session tomorrow, and you don't want to miss what is going to. If today is like this, you don't want to miss. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. What tomorrow will look like will blow your mind. I tell you.
Thank you, Dr. Lumine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
sir.
Okay,
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
See you guys tomorrow.
So we're still going on tomorrow, and you don't want to miss out what will be happening tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to blow your mind. I tell you the truth, it's going to blow your mind completely. All right, so we have Tade Cash in the house. We have Tade Cash in the building. Can you hear me now? Or can you speak? Let's hear your voice.
Okay. Can you
Great.
hear me?
Loud and clear. We can hear you loud and clear. Fantastic. Finally.
I've been here all day, Mr. Niyi, Dr. Lumide Emmanuel. I heard Mrs. Adenike Ogunlesi. I listened so well to you. Everything being said is accurate. It's either you are building assets or you are buying assets. So the truth of the matter is all the opportunity that have been shared, people need to take advantage of it immediately. You see, time costs life. So if you don't take advantage of what has been shared with you, I love what you said, Mr. Clement, about, we grow into things. So that is very important. We don't get to the top. We grow into the top. Somebody brings us to the top. Yeah. And it is very important. I remember Mrs. Ogunlesi said, money does not come to the lazy. It's important that people realize that. Money does not come to the lazy. Mr. Nia Adesanya said it right and clear about the peak. Everyone. Success is about people and other people's money. So without people, without other people's money, nobody can be successful. What we are saying to you in Million Homes today is that come and take advantage of other people's money with the little money that you have. Your money may not be able to set you free, but if you combine it with other people's money, you're on your journey to financial freedom. That is what we believe. That is what we stand for. And that is why we are here. Tomorrow is going to be lit. And if you have not followed us on social media, I'm sorry, you are missing out already. You need to follow us on social media, on all platforms, Life Page Group. It is time. This is your time of liberation. Don't harden your heart. Do something about your future. Stop talking about it. Do something about it. And that's why we believe so strongly that this is the time that
Life Page Property and Investment Limited is a real estate
people need
investment
of
company.
everything. The lifestyle
We are
people
primarily
see
in the
something
business of making lives richer. To us, real estate is not an end, but a means to an end. It is a vehicle for wealth creation and retention. The company is duly registered with a head office in Lagos, Nigeria. Being the parent company in the group, we also play significantly in the construction, technology, agriculture, and executive education space. For almost a decade, LifePage has continued to create high-quality real estate investment products that is making the lives of Nigerians home and abroad richer. We have also built a reputation for delivering on promise, as we will rather under-promise and over-deliver than over-promise and under-deliver. All our investments are guaranteed, secured, and transparent. No stories. As part of the company's long-term drive to address the housing shortfall in Nigeria and Africa at large, and in our quest to provide 1 million homes by 2041, we have established Million Homes for funding a wide array of affordable, accessible, and acceptable developments in Lagos. We therefore present to you our latest, the Orange Apartments. With Orange Apartments and Million Homes, you will have the singular opportunity to live in your own home or make it fund your living. To be part of this, kindly visit www.millionhomesafrica.com.
Hello. All right, so Mr. Tadikash, are you there? All right, that will be all for tonight. Hello. Can you all hear me? All right, so that will be all for tonight. We want to sincerely appreciate all of you who joined in this program and stayed through till this very moment. We do not take your time for granted. We believe that this is a time this has been worth your while, and we believe we've added value, and we believe that tomorrow is going to be a lot higher, more inspiring than what we've experienced today. So you don't want to miss out, and please, you will do all your families and friends a lot of favor by telling them to register. They can still register to be part of this conference. So you can still share the same link that you shared or that you registered with families and friends so that they can join us next week. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube by clicking the subscribe button on Live Page Group on YouTube. And then you can do also by following Live Page at Live Page Global on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and you'll be very glad you did. All right. So, Mr. Tadikash, can you come on, please? Can you just say a few words so that we can release the people and preparation for tomorrow? Your final words for today. Hello.
It seems that everybody has
Let me call it. Let me call it.